give the rest. Let's give the rest like 2 minutes and then we start.
Okay.
Saseni Wase, how are you guys this morning? How is the weather at your place? Is it cold like in my place?
Good morning, Joy.
Morning, Ma.
Yeah, so the weather from my side is kind of it's cloudy since yesterday and today, so it's kind of cold.
All right, same here. Ridge, where are you? We want to come. Ridge, pin. Hatuwezi kufa na baridi Nairobi peke yetu. Eldoret, uwi, tutumie map. Tunaweza nunua Atlas. Who can remember Atlas? All right. Justin, I know Kiambu County is so cloudy and cold. Isikuwe ni serikali inanunua baridi. Frank, how is Ghana this morning? Ladies, where are you from? How is it? How is the weather today? Guys, so today we'll be looking at bash scripting. I hope you guys are ready for the day. Clear skies. Wow, Frank, be thankful. We cannot even see the skies from here. Daniel, Ukambani is hot. Be thankful. Our place, it looks like it's 7 a.m. I know some of you are struggling to get out of bed, but kindly listen to me, eh? Don't sleep. I know the weather is tempting.
Today are we like also going to cover 4 modules, Joy? How many modules are we going to cover today?
What do you mean? Which 4? Today we're covering bash scripting.
For the morning session, eh?
Yes, for the day actually. In the morning we're going to do bash scripting, and then in the afternoon we are going to do our Linux assessment.
Oh, okay.
Karibu.
When are we doing assessment? Umesema?
We are doing our assessment from 2 p.m.
Today?
Yes.
Ah,
Nimeona mtu wa
we are not
kusoma.
ready bana. We are not ready.
We or you?
You me. Mimi niko hapo Wajir, hakuna stima, kuna shida ya stima.
Oh, kwa ajili. Jali, hata sisi tulisema kuna baridi, kuna nini, lakini mtihani ikikuja inakuja, unafanya unamaliza, unaenda, unamalizana na hiyo maneno.
Sasa.
Nani mwingine hajasoma? Who is not ready? Mimi nimesema watu wajitetee na mapema. And now are you guys feeling you're done with Linux? Where is Chelsea? She's always ready. I'm wondering, Chelsea, is Chelsea here? Let me see. I have a bone to chew with Chelsea. So let's just start. Au inatupata tu tumeendelea. Today's lesson is so Anthony, tukubakisha hiyo bone. Trust me, you don't want that one. Hiyo hauitaki. Let me just, I was checking on you people, on your grades. You people, I karibu nishtuke moyo. I'm just seeing dash, dash, dash. You know, the way we are here begging you to people to do your labs and KCs and to talk to me here on the chat. You're refusing. Now me, I'm just seeing zeros. I am getting stress. Jana hata nilipigwa na mshtuko wa moyo, ikabidi nitulie niambie mwalimu wetu Patrick to teach for me because you people, karibu mpe mwalimu wenyu ulcers. Anthony, you do not want that bone, trust me. So today's class will be super, super detailed, but interesting, I promise. So it would be good if we open our terminals, very practical. And if you are into software engineering, if you want to venture into DevOps, if you Musembi Daniel,
Yes,
mmekimbizwa
madam.
a recap session. Sasa recap session hatuwezi fundisha kitu tumefundisha for 2.5 weeks, hatuwezi fundisha na lesson moja. That's why we have the recordings there for you. Okay. But
Yeah.
yes, but you guys, anyone who wants to do either tech support or DevOps, Cloud Ops, whatever ops that you want, systems administration, people in software, those who will be deploying the applications, Linux, you guys, Linux, you need to have Linux on your fingertips. But I promise you that today's lesson, you are going to use all the skills that you've learned in Linux since tuanze. So this is like the capstone. And even for your assessment, it's going to cover everything. It's just ni maswali nne tu, it's just 4 questions, but they're going to cover everything that you've done because it's going to be practical. And for today's lesson, it's called bash scripting. Anyone who's in software knows, or even in those ops and systems administration, that you need scripts. Yes, Justin, you need to write scripts. You need to write scripts to update your systems. You need scripts to run cron jobs. You need scripts, all those things. All those things. So instead of doing something repetitively, you just write a script and then you just run it. Everything is done for you. And today's lesson will be actually very important when you're coming to learn DevOps in the next few weeks, and also CloudFormation, because you're going to be writing one thing that is going to deploy for you everything. For today, we're writing a script to do one thing to deploy for us most of the things that we want. So I'd rather you pay attention to today's class. It's not going to be hard, but it's going to be interactive. It's something that you need to practice more and more and more and more. So we can start. Kindly have your, I don't know, you guys, those who are using Putty, those who need terminals, kindly open your terminals. If you need an EC2 instance, let's give you 5 minutes to launch one. And you guys, now that you know how to launch instances, that's very good side hustle. That's a good side hustle. Mkiingia pale hapo, you're going to see people wanting someone to configure their EC2 instances. So as we are starting,
Boy, lab gani bash shell ama bash shell scripting?
tuna combine
Which lab?
zote. We are
So I can open any lab.
yes, I'm going to combine all the two. Na hapa kando yangu niko na kikombe cha kahawa. Mkisikia nimemeza mniwie radhi. So let me just share my screen. I'm just going to open my terminal over here. So who has their terminal open? Let me know. If your terminal is ready, let me just know. So Gideon is ready, very nice. Going for Ivy. Ivy umekata kutuombea. Woi, Ivy. So guys, open your terminal, please. We start. Oh, it's okay, Ivy, sorry. Purity, okay, I'm not going to follow the labs, but you can open either for Bash or Bash shell scripting. All right, Daniel. I need your terminals open. It's okay, Ivy. It's okay. There's tomorrow. So if your lab is open, let me know in the chats. If you've created yours, still in creation, let me just know. I'm just going to use those who have Git Bash, Ubuntu, the Linux terminal. For the Mac shell, just open your terminals. It's not really a must to have to use the EC2 instance, but if you don't have, kindly create your EC2 instance and launch your terminal. Today it's going to be just purely practical. I'll be posting some of the commands that I'll be using. So guys, if you're ready, let me just know. If your terminal is up, I just need like around 5+ people so that you can start. If your terminal is up, let me know. Just write shell on the comments. Very nice. Antonius is ready. And for Elfast, very nice. Fanius is ready. People, I'm waiting for your bash shell. For Frank is ready. Just type for me shell if yours is ready. For Ridge is ready. Very nice. For Kiprona, Benson is ready. For Abby is ready. For Clinton, for Daniel, Gideon, very nice. Let me just take your attendance and then we can start. Rage, na umenyamazia wapi? Umepotea? There are people who here have never heard their voices. Brian O'Halley, I have a bone to chew with you. Your cases. Priscilla, is your lab open? Salem, is your lab open? Very nice. So I hope your labs are here. Alright, Salem, yes. Priscilla, yes. Justin, yes. Rage, gawia watu kazi. Alright, Gail, very nice. So we can start. Alright. So I'm just going to share my screen. Guys, ensure that your terminal is up and running, and we can start. So here is my terminal, and today we're going to learn a few things about the bash shell. As you know, bash is the main shell for Linux, and we said that there are other shell terminals that we have, like the Z shell and all those. So today we're going to learn a few of the bash commands that we have that we can use on our shell, and they're divided as per the course. They're divided into a few things. So today we're going to look at the variables, aliases, and a few more. So we can start with the variables. So variables are used to store information. Remember, for those who've done a little bit of programming, there was this time, or even I remember even in mathematics, and there will come a question saying, there's a question that was saying, let x equals cat, what will be y? Do you remember those questions? Those funny mathematical questions. So here, we are giving a variable x to be a cat. So in shell, we can have variables, we give them labels, so that when you use this variable, it will be used to point to this particular thing. For example, we have home. Home is your home folder, your personal folder. Like now mine will be home joy. If I do $home, it will bring me to, it will show me who I am. So for example, if we do echo $home, it will show you your, let me just have this here. Guys, try it out and you paste for me the comments that's going to be shown on your shell, what it's going to show you. Just copy for me your answers. For Anthony is Anthony. $user is Anthony. Very nice. Yeah, you can actually even try these other variables so that you see where they are pointing to. Oh, very nice, Alphas. You have $shell and $user. Try those out, girls, and let me know. Yeah, very nice. EC2user, you're the user, EC2user, right? Ivy, very nice. So, these variables, they are pointing to particular places that, for example, like the home variable will be pointing to your home folder, and you can see who your home folder, your name, even your user will show you the current logged in user. For example, those who are going to be using the Amazon Linux 2 will see EC2 user. If you're using your personal computer, it will show you your personal name. All right, guys, try out the path and the shell. You let me know. For the shell, it's going to show you the command shell that you're using, the type of shell that you're using. And for the path, it's going to show you folders where your program commands are. Let me see. All right. Mosembi, when you've done for the path, it has given you a few of these paths. There is no file or directory in your bin user. All right. Anyone else using their personal machines to post for us the response of the path variable in the bash, in the shell? Hey, Anthony, nako ni ndefu. All right. All right. Thank you, Ivy. So that's how you can see various things on your machine. Those are actually the most commonly used variables that we have. So the home variable will show you your path to home. Your shell will show you which kind of a shell that you're using. Your user, $user will show you your username, where you're logged in at. Yeah. And you can create your own variables. For example, we can say let name be For example, you can use your name, especially for those in. Very nice. Thank you, Salem. So you can change, for example, like those who are using, if you see like your your variable for name is funny, you can call it any other name. For example, let's try this out. Let's try and create a new variable and we call it Lanley, or just call it something that you want. You can just edit here instead of Joy. Let me just change this to Lanley. Try it out and let me see what's going to be the output from your terminal. Try that out and let me know. So change the name. You can create a variable called name and give name a variable, and then you echo $name. You tell me what it's going to bring you. I want to see your results. I'm actually very interested. Ivy, very nice. Justin Landley, okay, very nice. So you can create your own new variables, give them a name, and then you can echo and see the name that's going to give you. All right. After that, we have aliases. Aliases means like aliases. It's like AKA, also known as, you know. So remember when we were doing a few of the commands that you were learning. Read to connect na hiyo side hustle, hata sisi tunataka. Alright, so remember when you were having very long commands, for example, we would be having, for example, this command here for listing the long format and to list all, even like the ones that have that are hidden, the one that starts with a dot. And remember, we used to type something like this, right? So that we see the type of commands that you're going to get. Let me just give you this command. You try it again on your machines and then let me know what you're seeing. If you don't have anything, you can create, say, like a few files. You can touch file A. If you're using for Amazon, if you're using for AWS, you can create file A and file B, and then you let me know. You do list LA, you copy your results here, and then you're going to create an alias for this list command. So what we want is, we want to create a short. So instead of writing ls space space la, instead of writing all that whole command, you can just create an alias for it. All right, so Gideon has given us his command, his files, right? All right, thank you, Gideon. Thank you, Justin. Very nice, very nice. So now on your terminals, I need you to create an alias. All right, I need you to create an alias, and this alias, let's call it, say, LL. All right, LL. Okay, or even you can just call it even anything. In my example here, I used LL, and we're going to say, instead of having to write ls and then space la, instead of just writing that entire time, every time I want to list something in long format and I want to see all the files plus the hidden files, what we can do, let's just create an alias called LL. And any time that I type LL, command LL on my machine, it's going to give me the list, the long format list, and a list of everything that I have. So guys, create an alias called LL, and then with the alias LL, give it these two commands that we use oftenly. We want to list all, so ls space dash al or la, and then let me know what you'll find. And then once you've created this alias, just type LL on your machine. Very nice, Silent. Exactly that. So we see once you've created your alias. So for example, for those who do a lot of version control, you write git add, git push, git commit, git push. You see, instead of writing that entire command, you can actually create an alias for that entire command. So instead of having to write git add, for example, like me, what I do if I want, let me just show you the command that I use when I want to update my repo. This is what I do. I do git add, git commit, so dash m, I write a message, so like let's say just message, and then git push. So instead of having to write all these, I use semicolons to separate each of the command. So instead of having to write all this, you can actually create an alias for the entire command, and you just say, so you can give your alias git, command git, and anytime you write git, it just adds, commits, and pushes everything to your repo. So it's a funny, it's easy, it just makes life easy. All right. Thank you, Justin. Yes, very nice. So I hope you guys worked. If you're with me, let me just know. What will be the commit message then? Oh, you can say, Gideon, if it's your personal repo, there are people who write updates. Eh? Those who those who didn't go through the tough software engineering course by Lex, they'll just write update or new update, you know. But yeah, yeah, if you're lazy, you'll just find a way of having everything. All right. So I hope you guys have understood about now the variables and the aliases. All right. Energy saving mode. I know, Anthony. Some of us are ever in our energy saving mode forever. Thank you, Daniel, for your response. All right. And if you've created a few aliases and you'd want to list them, you just write the word alias and you're going to see the aliases that you've created. So that's the command. Just type alias, enter, and it's going to give you a list of your aliases. All right. And if you want to remove them, just write an alias. I love Linux. It's for lazy, it's for people with energy saving mode. So let's say you've created your alias for the list and you're done with creating you're done using the list command all the time, and you now want to unalias it. You just type an alias ll, and it's going to remove the alias for you. If you want to remove all of them, just write an alias dash a, and it's going to remove all of them for you. So for those who created aliases, you can just alias yours with either this one or this one. So an alias and then the aliases that you created. So like I saw someone here created an alias for FL. So you can just alias your FL, or if you created the alias for LL, you just alias it just the way you created. You just add an before the alias. All right. Now, if you want to make your alias to be permanent, for example, now those who do a lot of systems administration and it just makes life easy for you and you don't want to use it now for forever, it's already in your system and you can barely live without, you can just add it on your .bashrc. So here on this file called .bashrc, it actually stores your permanent configurations of your shell. All right. So if you want to make it permanent, just you can v or nano onto this file called .bashrc and add your alias into it will be the very last command down there. Just add it at the bottom and then you save. You can, if you're using V, just escape and shift ZZ. If you're using nano, control X and then you say yes and then you enter. All right. I hope you guys remember how to create files and open files. So guys, without much ado, that's about a few of the environment variables that we have, aliases and aliasing your aliases, and also creating your adding your adding your content onto the bash rc for permanent configuration. All right. So we've done this. I'm going to share this file with you. I'm just going to actually add it on this document that has recordings. I'm just going to be adding all the documents and then you can be viewing them once you're ready. All right. And we go to bash scripting for the day. So bash scripting, anytime that you hear bash, so there's bash scripting, you can script with Python. You can create your own scripts that you want using whatever language that you want. But for shell, we have bash scripting. And this is like the most basic one and the easiest one, especially for people who are not into programming or those who are not into Python. You can actually create your scripts using bash. All right. And this is what I told you guys that will come in handy once you start getting more technical roles and especially more superior roles, especially now. No, it's a scripting language. It's a scripting language. Yes, it's not a programming language. It's just like the way people will say HTML is a programming language, but really it's a markup language anyway. All right. So you can create your scripts, and once you create your scripts, you can use them to you can make them automate your mostly the work that you either do more oftenly that you do oftenly, repetitive tasks. So for those who are into DevOps, you know that anytime you have any repetitive task, it's very, very important that you automate it because you're reducing error rates, you're saving yourself time, and it's even easier and faster, and it's more convenient. There's someone who's unmuted. Kindly mute yourself. Usimwage mtama jamani, hatutaki kujua siri za ndani. Alright, so let's learn how to write a few scripts. Today I want us to actually do a very simple script that you guys will actually enjoy. So I'm just going to copy this for you. However you find easy creating your files, either Nano or Vim, huh? You can create this file. You can touch. Let me just remove the Nano so that those who want to use V can use their V. So, guys, I need you to create a file called myscript.sh. So sh, it's myscript.shell. I need you to create that, and then I need you to put this in, and then we're going to read the code. Guys, for those who want to enter into programming, and even those who are already there, the most important skill that you can have is to read codes, right? Should be able to read and understand your code. Any code that you come through, if you go to GitHub, you should be able to read. The way people read novels and understand, others read the Bible and understand. It should be the same way that you should be able to understand codes. And the reason why that is because rarely will you go to an organization and find that they don't have a code base, right? So most organizations, if it's not a startup, most of the organization will always be having their own code base. So you should be able to read and understand, articulate that code base so that you get into the mind of whoever wrote that code, all right? So now, for example, like on my case here, so the very first thing we've done, we've created a file. We're using Nano. You can use Nano, you can use V. So if you're using Nano, just Nano myscript.sh, copy the code that I gave you, and then Control X, yes, enter, or Control O, enter, then Control X. I find this really long. So the easiest is actually Control X, and then you say yes, Y, and then enter. All right, or you can V myscript.sh and copy this code there, escape, and then shift ZZ. All right, so the very first line here, it's called a shebang, and it's what tells our terminal that this is a script file. All right, so this is for bash, right? There's also for Python, so you can find different scripts, but for bash, for Linux, it's always going to be hash exclamation mark space bin slash bash. That's called the shebang. It's actually the introduction to a script file. All right, now, and a very good, after knowing how to read code, number two, if you're writing code, it's very, 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 very important that you write comments on your code. Reason is, if today, imagine on Thursday last week, which was our last class, you wrote a piece of code, and thanks to, okay, not thanks, okay, unfortunately we lost Raila and we had to bury him, and we got like a whole 3 days of holiday, all right? And even Monday itself was a holiday. So you're 4 days away from work. Come Tuesday, and you're trying to remember what is this that I was writing, and you didn't have comments. Lo and behold, to cry you will. You will cry. Unfortunately, they won't be crocodile tears. They will be real tears, all right? So it's quite important that you write comments on your code, all right? And when you're writing comment, ensure that it is actually very readable. People can understand, so that even when you leave an organization, whoever will take your place, or if say like you're promoted or you go in another different organization, Anthony, no, it should have a lot of comments. People should be able to understand what you're saying. So that if you're leaving an organization or you got a more superior role, whoever will take your place will actually be able to understand what it is you are writing, why you are writing it, why it was important. I don't know you guys if you've seen these memes that say, um, I don't know why I wrote this, but it happens to work. Eh? Funny comments, especially if you go through GitHub, you'll find funny commit messages in comments. All right, like a short story. Yes, Justin, if it works, don't touch. So a funny story is when I was doing my software engineering in LX, and there was this. You guys remember I was there when we had Kimba. Kimba is like a tool that was checking if you've used common, say if you are copying code and you've used like common pieces of code from someone else, and it will flag you and then you automatically get a zero. So what happened is that time when I was writing my shell, when I was now creating my shell, I was tired. I was so tired. And I can I think I remember um the very last few pieces of code that I pushed to GitHub. They had very funny commit messages and even comments. So it's important that even if you're tired, even if you feel like giving up, even if you've gotten bugs, trying to debug 1,000 times and it works, ensure to write what worked and why. Just write a comment, explain your thought process. It's good. You'll also go to read your codes after like 15 years and then you're going to laugh at yourself. Yeah? You're going to, or even you'll be proud of yourself because you wrote some, funny comment or a very good comment. Exactly, Frank. Exactly. Only God understood and knew what you are doing. No one else will understand. So imagine now 4 days from work and you don't even know what you are doing. Imagine. Yeah. So it's so good. It's good that when you're writing code, be sure that it is readable. Yes, yes. Very nice. Very nice. Salem. Uh-huh. Right. So those are some of the things that, it's life. So let's try and read. Who can tell me what this somebody unmute and tell me what this piece of code does and explain it in a layman's language, please. You can just unmute. Anyone? Somebody decode this code for us. Salem, unmute to tell us what the code does. Oh, okay, okay. Anyone who's unmuted. People, I know I have programmers here. Kindly, anyone? Yeah, I don't have anyone to read for me. All right. So what this means, you ran the same code and it brought an error. What was the error? On line 11. Let me just try it out. Why did it give you an error, Salem? Because mine works. Oh yeah, he didn't input numbers. All right. So I'm just going to read for you guys this. Yes, it won't because all right, let me just explain. Someone is unmuted. All right, so the very first thing we do, we create a script file, all right? And this script file, we're going to call it myscript.sh, all right? And when you create the file, so for example, whichever editor that you use, you come and paste this. So this is a shebang, all right? This is the shebang, and it's going to tell your terminal that it is running a script, all right? And I want to declare a name, a variable called name. And for my name, I gave it my name, Joy, all right? And once it enters the variable name, I want you to print a message called hello $name, welcome to bash scripting. So this is anytime that you see echo, it's outputting, it's printing it on your screen, all right? So we're going to create a variable called name, and we're going to give it my name, Joy. So this is what I did. And then I'm going to say hello, and because I've written $name is equals to Joy, it's going to output my name, Joy. It's going to tell me welcome to bash scripting. And then it's going to tell me, so the reason why we have this part is I wanted to show you can even create a very small calculator, all right? So take two arguments from the user. So there's argument 1 and argument 2. Say the way we were told x equals to 1, y equals to 2. It's the same way we have it here, right? So we're going to say let $1 be the very first number and $2 be the second number, all right? And so it's going to tell my user to echo, you entered the numbers, number $1, and $2. For example, here, I entered number 3 and number 8. So it's going to tell me you entered number 1, you entered number 3, and you entered number 8. And the file here, the script, is going to create a summation. So sum equals to the summation of number 1 and number 2, all right? My two numbers. And it's going to tell me the sum of 3 and 8 is your number. So for me, it's going to give me 11, all right? Once you're done creating your script file, then you escape and then Shift Z if you're using a V, or if you're going to use Nano, you Control X and then yes, enter. Once you're done, you need to make your file executable. So was it yesterday that you were learning about permissions? So when you create, I think it was the other week, if I'm not wrong. So we're going to make our file script executable. When you make your script executable, it's going to run like a program. All right. So for example, anytime I want to come and have a calculator calculate for me, say 158 plus 1075, instead of going to Google and or even to my calculator, I can just run dot I just run this and then I add my number and it's going to calculate for me. All right. So what we did, we're going to make our program file executable. So you guys, especially for those who use Windows, when you're downloading something, it comes as, if you say you're downloading a program, say you're downloading what it is and people download a lot. So let's say what were Windows, wanna download that nini. So let's say you're downloading, say a converter file, all right? Let's call it converter. And you're downloading a converter from the internet. When it goes to your machine, it comes as converter.exe, all right? As an executable file. So for us in Linux, or even in Linux, you can create your own files and then make them like that executable file, all right? And then to be able to run that file, because you've already made it executable, now it's a program, all right? So you just, or any script file that you'll be running, you just write a dot and then a forward slash and then the name of your script file, all right? So this is how we run executable files: a dot, a slash, and then the name of your script file. So as we know, it's for addition, all right? So I'm just going, all right. Let me just do this. I'm sorry, I forgot that. So this is how you're going to run your files. Someone can do different numbers and you show us your results from your terminal and then we see. All right. So this is exactly what it means for thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Justine. Very nice. Yes, you see, somebody try add a big number like 1,017 plus 187, something, just a funny number. Very nice. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, everyone. Somebody had a funny number. You tell us, we see if it's going to work. Clinton number 4 na 2, tutengeneze ingine ya a big number we see. So that is how you create, and you can create script files for anything and everything. All right. Thank you, Justine. Exactly. And now tell us if it's working, if it's true, if that's the number that you expected. All right. So I'm going to give you, this is just explaining what I've told you guys. It's an explanation of what happened. We've learned about variables. We've even tried out thank you, Justin. Yes, kindly remind them to start. Thank you, Musembe. Thank you, everyone who's commenting. I appreciate. So you guys remember in this script file, we've actually done this example. We've added something, and you can even you can do any type of mathematical expression that you want. Does Bash have dependencies for mathematical calculations? I think you can make it as complicated as you want, depending on your technical skills. The script could have been adjusted to either enter user his name. Yeah. You can actually try it out. Salem, I was just trying to give an example that would be easy for people to understand. But yes, I actually wish I did this for your assessment. It actually sounds like a good question. Thank you, Salem. So yes, you can even create a script that asks you enter your name, and then you enter your name, Daniel Musembi. After you've entered your name, enter two numbers or enter number one and then enter another number. And then it can do for you a summation, it can do for you multiplication, it can do for you what are we calling them? It can do for you a lot of whatever yes, it can even give you reminders, it can give you multiplication, whatever it is that you want. So you can actually do a whole lot of things with script files. You can create calculators, you can even do say for those who do a lot of what do we call them, hizi vitu za kuguess numbers, easy probabilities and statistics. You can try all those things, all right? For example, like now here we have one for summation. You can even do multiplication here. You can say multiplication equals to A times B, and then echo multiplication equals to dollar multiplication. You can try actually. And let me give you an assignment. You people, you can send me that. You can actually create one script that does all these calculations. So you can even add here, instead of just instead of just this, you can add another one. You can copy this, add another one for multiplication, and then you'll say A times B, multiplication equals to A times B. Echo multiplication is dollar multiplication. You can do another one for division. You can do another one for subtraction. You can actually, you're only limited by your imagination. Yes. Remember when Salem was telling us you can even ask people to enter their number. So imagine this scenario. We want to create a small system, like the one that when you go to your ATM, for those who are gifted to have ATM cards, when you go to an ATM and you input your card, right? And it tells you, hi, dollar name. So it's going to check the name on the card. Hi, dollar name. So checking on the card, it's going to see the name is Nicodemus. Hi, Nicodemus. Okay, hi Nicodemus. Dollar name is Nicodemus from the very first name on the ATM card. And then it's going to tell you, kindly input your PIN. And then it's going to give you a box, and then you just input your PIN 0000 and then enter. And then it's going to tell you, this is your account balance. All these are programs, and you see you've already created one executable program. You can create as complicated as you want. You can even create your own baby ATM there on your computer and call it atm.sh. Yeah? And then you'll have your own ATM screen on your laptop. And then these are the things that you actually record and you have them as your portfolio, because not everyone knows how to do this. All right. So you can have strings, you can have numbers, you can do a whole lot of things. You can even do comparisons. So I'm going to tell you, you're going to create a program that tells you enter two numbers. You enter number one, 10, number two, 20, and then you tell it. So whoever was asking about dependency, you can create complicated as you want. So for example, like this script is going to say, if the first number is bigger than okay, if the first number is bigger than the second number, then echo a is greater than b, or if it's lesser, a is lesser than b, something of the sort. So I'd actually want to see you guys the kind of script files that you can create. I'd really want to know the type of script files that you can create. You're just limited by your imagination. So I want us to, you can even have conditional statements. So you can say, for example, you can ask a person to enter, let me just see this condition right here. So enter number. So number is equals to 10. If number is greater than 5, echo this number is greater than 5. Else, it's going to be lesser. So phi, it ends the block. All right. So I want us to actually go ahead and create. I'm going to leave this for you guys to read. I want us to create this script file here. I want us to create this file here. So this file here, let me just give you the name, and you can create, you can create it on your terminals. Kindly create that file here in your terminals and run this command there, copy this command there. And then just add this. Add this, they are together. And then once you're done, run this. So I want you guys to be trying this out. And for those who are using, oh my gosh, for those who are using the Amazon Linux too, just use this command. So remember yesterday when Patrick was teaching us, he told us that Gideon, you are unmute. Yes?
Hello, Joe.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm asking
Mm-hmm.
the second part, the continuation of this, that's the one you listed first.
Uh-huh.
I'm asking, is it the continuation of the same
Yes.
name
Yes.
file?
Yes, it's the continuation.
Okay, okay.
Let me try copy it for you guys nicely. For those who are using the Amazon Linux, when you are AWS, tumieni hii iko na sudo yam tafadhali. For those wenye wanatumia AWS Linux, tumieni hiyo ya sudo yam. For those who are using Ubuntu Debian, kindly use the one for sudo apt. Ndio hii I am putting for you here again as a complete file. There, it's complete now. Once you're done, for those who are using Debian, you run this, and for those who are using Yum, you run this. Alright, so as you're doing that, I can just do a simple explanation, and then we can go to the notes again. So what this does, number one, we're creating a file called Docker Apache. And the reason why I wrote apt is so that I know the difference between us who are using Ubuntu Debian and those who are using for Amazon Linux. All right, so just call it the name that you want and then .sh. Then now here we have the shebang. The shebang is one that's going to tell us that this is a script file, and we have a comment here. So what I want this script file to do, I want it first to update our system. So for those with Linux, you know that anytime before we do anything, we always have to update. And if you haven't upgraded, you can just do a quick upgrade. So sudo apt update. So the script file is going to update itself, and then it's going to install Docker. All right. And once it installs Docker, so Docker is a containerization application, and once it's going to install Docker. And by the way, you guys, anytime that you want to install something and you do not want to be asked to say yes, 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 what we do, we just add -y. All right. So we're going to update our files, and then we're going to say yes, update. We install Docker. Yes, we wanted to install Docker. And then remember yesterday we were reading about systemctl, right? So we want our systemctl to start Docker. So automatically start Docker and enable it. So anytime that we close our machine and come back, it will automatically, when we enable Docker, it will automatically start Docker on reboot. Anytime that you're starting your machine, it's going to auto start Docker. And then I want now, once it's installed and started and it's enabled, I want it to pull a HTTPD. HTTPD, we were told yesterday, it's Apache, all right? It's an Apache server. So once after it has installed Apache server, I want it to create. So this is, you're used to this line, right? You're used to HTTPD. And then now this line is going to actually write somewhere that in our custom web page, welcome to Landly server, right? It's going to create a file called index.html. And in this index.html, it's going to type welcome to Landly to our Landly server. All right. So it's going to pull. We're going to install Docker. First, we're going to update our systems. We're going to install Docker. In Docker, we're going to pull images. So Docker has images instead of. So for those people who have like limited space on your machine, and you want to actually containerize everything on one go, instead of having to do everything on your local machine, you can just do everything on Docker. Docker has like images stored that you can actually pull, use, and you can even save them on Docker Hub. So imagine this is something like GitHub, the way you have like a repo on GitHub. You do everything on your repo, and then you store your code on GitHub, right? So we're going to pull an image for Docker. We're going to pull an image for HTTPD, our Apache server. And on our server, we're going to create a file called index.html. Si mnaona napenda HTML? So index.html is going to be our welcome page. And we know that HTML is used to display content on the internet. So on our index.html, we're going to add a heading called written welcome. Thank you, Daniel. Kindly start your labs. So we're going to, on our index.html, when you go to the IPv4 or even just your index.html, you're going to see welcome to Learnly server. And then so running Apache container with a custom page. All right. So we want now our container to run our index.html, this one that we've created, to run on the Apache server. And then it's going to give us an IP address that we can use. It's going to give you that IP address and it's going to tell you, visit this IP address. All right. And once you're done, you remember to, number one, make your script file executable. All right. So we're going to make our script file executable and then you're going to run it. Once you run it, it's going to give you this link that you're going to open. And you can share with us or you can just send us screenshots of what you're seeing. For those on Amazon Linux, it's the same thing, only that instead of using sudo apt, we're using sudo yum because that's the installation file used by Amazon Linux. You guys, have you understood what your script file does? Oh, sorry, Rich. I'm seeing that you wanted to unmute right now. You could just have unmuted. I'm so sorry. Very nice. Salem is ahead. Very nice. I'm so sorry, Rich. Alright, tell me guys how yours looks like. Justin, you have an end of file. Did you finish you copy this, the one that I posted the entire code? You should be getting end of file. Copy the one that I finished with echo and then these dashes. Justin, try that. Hi. Someone is talking na simsikii jamani. Yes, that one. What is it showing, Salem? It took too long to respond, and why is that? Let me just create mine and see. Let me just create mine and see. Mine might take a long time because I am using my local machine. Alright, it is done. It is completed downloading HDVD. Who's talking? Kindly let me know. Gideon. Justin, you're facing the same issue.
Yes.
Right?
If you can advise us. Hi, Joy. Hi, my identity, please. So I'm just 19 years and I need help in advice of what I'm going through. I might end up analyzing myself, and I don't want that. So nilimaliza high school last year, and as usual, I got a side hustle. Lakini nilipata job kwa restaurant ilikuwa imepata 60,000. Mind you, sina bills na nilikuwa naishi home. Si ati home wa well off, but nilikuwa nataka kitu ya kujitu.
Purity.
So there was
Your
this
story ni yetu.
around 70-year-old. So huyo mzee alikuwa na pesa. Imagine
Alikuwa anapenda nani? Spill the tea. Kindly. You cannot leave us hanging like that. Salem amependa mtu. Amehurumia mtu. Purity. Unajua Disemba inafika na watu wataulizwa kama wameleta mtu. Kidogo tu because even mine has brought me the issue. Let me see. Purity unaombwa chai. Peana chai, Purity. Yeah? You cannot leave us hanging like that. We are heavily invested. Si ndio hivi? Heavily. Unajua Disemba imefika, watu wataulizwa hii mwaka imepita pia. Ni jirani yako ako Tinto. Jirani mgani? Mwenye ako kando yako ama nyumba next? Kuna venye hatuamini hii story. Ni jirani ama ni wewe? Kama ni wewe. Justin. Tuambie what happened. You cannot leave us hanging like this. Ehe. Alipata za cabbage. Let me just see why the IPv4 it's giving us is not working. All right, Salem. Let's try get a public one. Anyone else who's run the script? Salem, do you have is your port 80 being mapped by another system, by another program? Or using Amazon Linux? All right. Gideon, when and why should we install Docker? Do AWS have their own registry? Yes. Gideon, AWS has its own registry. It's called ECR. But because of Docker Hub actually, and it's commonly used, they are actually not using. It's actually being discontinued. It's a service being discontinued. They were to discontinue it, I think, this year, but I'm not so sure if they've already discontinued it. Yeah, Docker is really good if you need to like containerize your applications. So let's say you're creating this application that's holding your index.html and you want it to be easily scalable. You want it, okay, you don't even want it to run on your own machine because machines happen. Unaweza you want to funga your machine na lazima ukifunga machine unafunga server. So if you don't want that to happen, you can run on Docker. It contains images of a lot of things, so like most servers, HTTPD for Apache, Nginx, all those. And once you create containers, you can even you can orchestrate them with Kubernetes. So sana it's for ensuring that you don't lose your application. It's say like it's easy to scale. Docker is just good when you're creating big applications as well. Unaweza eka application moja ikule your entire RAM. You don't want that. Salam, cause Yours is running. I think it's because you do not have anything on port 80. Salem, try run this to to check your port 80. Oh my gosh, and I'm using Apache too. I had forgotten that. Let me just stop it. Salem, run that on your Amazon Linux, I see. And try running on port 8080. Yeah, try port 8080. Oh, there's nothing. All right, now then run this one for. All right. Let me try and see. Yeah, mine has worked. So yeah, it's because we were using our. Let me just split screen here. So for those who are facing issues, let me just share my entire screen because I need to show you. All right. So for those of us who were using, who got an error the very first time, it's because we were using port 80. Kindly use this code here for using 8080. Use this one to use port 8080 and then run again. So run the script file again like what I did. So I ran this. I was using Apache 2 earlier. I stopped it and then I ran this code here, sudo docker run this one. And then after that, so this one changes my port from 80 to 8080. And then you run your script file again. When it runs again, has everything ready and gave me the IPv4 address, the HTTP, the URL to go to. And when I came to the URL, I was able to access it. So guys, let me know if you succeeded with that. Let me see. Anyone else who's tried? Daniel, yours is running. Show us a script file of your welcome to Landly server. Who else has tried? All right, Salem. Daniel, let me see your photo. Ladies, hakuna mwenye amejaribu? Why? Daniel, why? Apache is running on Docker. You are given a URL, cannot access Docker Apache yum.sh. Did you delete? Able do ls-al, we see if you have the file clear, and then ls-al. You check. If no, just go back again and redo it. It should actually give you Landly, welcome to Landly server. Anyone else was trying? I need you guys to try this out. So guys, you've seen that when you're scripting, you can actually create any script file. So let me see if I can have a script file for, we've already gone through running bash, making files executable. You now know how to do that. Let me see if I can have a code combining all this, because we can go through 44 pages. So let's try one for comparisons for lesser than and greater than, and an if conditional. It has worked. All right. Very nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. So let's try one. So you can actually create, the way we were saying, you can create script files to do anything, just anything that you want. And if you want to actually, you see, like we've created, we've just created one script file that has done a lot of work for us. So it has updated our machine. It has updated our machine. It has downloaded Docker for us. It has installed it. It has pulled down an image for Apache server for us. It has created for us a file, a web page file for index.html. It has even added text on the HTML file, and even gave us an IP address that you can go over the internet and see. So the best part about having script files is that you can reduce a lot of work. You can reduce a whole, if in fact, for example, if you want to create an application and you know that you're going to be doing something repetitive so much, it's easier for you to create a script file to run for you. Let me give you an example of when I actually had. All right, it's all right, Salem. Let me tell you of an experience I had where I actually had to create a script file that saved me a whole day's work. So there was this job that I was doing that I had to go to the on the cloud. Someone wanted a Windows server in the Windows a Linux. Actually, it was an SAP. For you guys who know SAP, if you're using for those who know SAP, they have a Linux database. So SAP itself is Windows based, but their database is Linux based. But then there's this whole process of, you see the way you guys created your EC2 servers. So it's the same way. You just go create an EC2 server and you create now a Linux server. So not necessarily the one for Windows, it's actually another one. So you create a Linux server. Once you've created a Linux server, you then go and configure it. So most people who use Windows do not really know all the commands that you guys have learned, right? So you go ahead. Now they have a Linux machine, all right? They can now access the Linux server, but it came as just with command line, with the terminal only. It did not have the graphical user interface. For those who use Ubuntu machines, see, or even just like mine. Let me just try and share my entire screen. You see the way mine has. Let me share my entire screen. So you see the way mine has this icons, and I can see, though I rarely come here, I can see all the applications that I have. Now, they did not have a Linux server a new Linux server does not have all these icons. And so someone who's used to Windows might not be able to just use the terminal by itself. So I had to go and install a graphical user interface for them. Now it's a whole, you remember yesterday Patrick was telling us that we really do not need to cram all these codes because organizations have their run books, right? So the run book is like almost 500 pages, and you have to input like the command by itself. So instead of all that, I just created a script file. Yes, mine is GNOME. Mine is GNOME. So I just created a script file, and it did everything for me in like 10 minutes. It had installed the graphical user interface for Ubuntu and installed all the, say, like the file manager and all those things in like 10 minutes, something I would have done for like a whole day. So the best thing about knowing scripting is that you can reduce your work up to 90%, right? And it's 10 minutes to 11. I don't know if anyone has a question. If you've not understood, kindly ask. I'm going to explain it to you. I want you guys to understand because scripting is so important. And you guys actually go and you see this script file that I've given you. See, it's working. Upload it on your GitHub. And when someone asks you, do you know how to script? You'll just show them, I've already created a script file that can download Docker and install Apache server, and even created a web page there. Do that, upload it on your GitHub. If you do Medium, upload it on your medium.com. Let people know that you know all this stuff. So, you guys, you're so quiet. It's 10 minutes to 11. Let me know if you have a question. Salem, are you using dual boot with Windows, or it's just Linux? Really? So it is consuming resources. I really find mine so interesting. Yes, Daniel.
There's something you had said about changing the port.
The port, yes. So there's this command here. This one, let me just copy it for you again, especially for those who had Apache or Docker installed before. It can sumbua you because you already had it and something else is running on your port 80. So what this does, it's going to map your Apache server to port 8080 instead of 80 alone. Yes, Mohammed.
Niko na swali.
Tafadhali naomba uulize.
Yes, Joy.
Yes.
Natumia WSL. Alafu hiyo thumbnail yangu after a few minutes inakuwa stuck. Then nini?
Ati?
Natumianga WSL.
Mhm.
So for nini under Windows. Alafu after a few minutes thumbnail yangu inakuwa stuck. Then I have to reconnect again.
All right. Honestly, I'd advise instead of using WSL, Jupia inatumia resources. Remember, you're running two operating systems in one. Instead of using WSL, you can actually use Git Bash.
Oh, thank you.
Just download Git Bash and install it. It's really easy, and it's even easier to use. Na haitatumia resources juu it's like walieka kama ka image, so haitatumia space mob, haitatumia resources, and it's way better.
Sawa.
All right. Anyone else with a question? Mumeelewa scripting? I know it's hard. Maybe I took a few months, but ukishaelewa ndio hivyo. If you have a question, kindly feel free to ask. Because I promise you, process to iko kwa assessment. Just ask any question that you have. Yes.
I think our cousin has helped ya yangu imerun sasa.
Very nice, very nice. Tumia cousin, our cousin helps us a lot.
Okay.
Any question? Let me just ask. Brian Kipkirui, are you present? If you hear your name, kindly shout present before you're marked absent. Brian Kipkirui, Chelsea, Evan Sokot, Kevin, I've seen Kevin.
Joy,
Yes, Fan.
I don't know if it's just me, but nimekuwa nikitumia Git Bash, especially class ya leo, but haikubali nini zote. Kama hii Apache, like this file you created and tried to run it. Inakataa commands zingine za Linux, so you have to go changing zikuwe za Windows.
All right. It's cause I had forgotten about that. So Windows, for you people to be able to run Apache, for those who use a lot of PHP, Laravel, where there is this thing installed that we call XAMPP ama WAMP. So hiyo ndo inasaidianga kurun the Apache server. So it's quite common, fine. It's really quite common in Pole for that. But if you find a solution, kindly share. Kama umefind solution, you can share hapa wasi wa Windows or try. How do we get this file? Are we creating it? Yes, Tony. The very first thing that you're doing, you create it. You can use Nano or Vim. You create it and then you copy your code nimepeana hapo ya this script file. Once you're done, you run. You change mode to executable file and then you run it. You can unmute and tell me where you are and then tuone venye tutakusaidia. Karibu. Just try it and let me know. Let me just add this Docker run on this Google Docs that I'll share with you in case you run into an issue. So I'm just going to share this file with you guys, and I know it will help you now and in the future. I'm just going to add it to your recordings for the day. All right, anyone with a question? Fun if you get an issue. I think we should try and run it. We should try and run the code on EC2 user before the assessment so that we see if it's going to run there. I'm going to try run it there. If you guys don't have a question, it's 11. I'd like you to go for a short break up to 11:30. Then you come and study for your quiz. It's actually going to start at exactly 2. And by 4 p.m. you submit and then you'll be done for the day. All right. And I hope everyone has their GitHub accounts. You'll be posting your codes there on your GitHubs. I don't see any question. So you guys, I hope you don't have questions. I hope you may understand. I really, really hope you may understand. If you've understood, raise your hand or tell me that you understood on the chat. If you have a question, this is the time. So Frank is good. Tony, you're good. Tony, did yours bring you the web page? Ivy, you're good. Daniel Musembe, you're good. Benson and Nicodemus, you're good. You're installing Docker so that... No, Tony, you don't need to install Docker. Everything is done for you on the code, on the script code. You don't need to do anything. You just create the script file, copy this code. Let me just copy for you here because I've seen that you're using apt. So this code is going to install Docker for you. You don't need to install anything by yourself. You don't need to install anything by yourself. It's going to install by itself. What is your Nona hapa you're using for YAM? Are you using for the Amazon Linux? Because you're using sudo yam, but you created for the Apache, for the apt. Which
Yeah, I've seen the issue. I copied the wrong
the
script.
wrong code. All right.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
It's okay. There's one for Amazon Linux for the ones who are going to use YAM, and then there's for the ones using Ubuntu or Debian, we use apt.
Yes, I copied the Amazon Linux one for
Okay.
apt.
All right.
Yes.
All right, so this is how we change it to executable. So anytime that you want to change to executable, you just write change mode plus X and then script name file. So let me see. I don't know what your file name is, but this is how you change it to be executable. So number one, create a file name, create a file using touch v nano. Number two, copy paste the code. Number three, all right, number three, exit, save and exit. The file. Number four, change to executable using this chmod plus X file name. Number five, all right, so yours will be copy. So it's going to be chmod plus X. All right, change to executable, and then you run this dot / file name. That's how you. I hope you're good. All right, anyone with a problem? I hope it looks like you're in. All right, so I hope you guys are good. Tony, I hope umesaidika, and I hope yours runs, because you're going to need to know this during the afternoon. During the assessment. So guys, if there is no question, awesome. So did you say welcome to Linux server? Welcome to Landly server. Did it bring for you? Awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Acha nikuklapie. Anyone else who tried? I hope you guys have understood. Now, I think we'll just have to go for the break. Come back at 11:30. Study for everything that you learned. It's going to come, not everything really, but just knowing how to use different commands. And once you're done, we'll break for lunch at 12. So let's just meet here at 11:30, and then we can start our revision. So have a nice coffee break, you guys. Thank you, Nicodemus.